Welcome back to Kryptolytix, giving you a fresh take on crypto analytics. Today, we're going to talk about Solana, fundamentals and technicals. So let's get into the video. First up, we're going to cover the news and the fundamentals. We're going to cover the latest developments in the Solana blockchain and the latest DeFi protocol performance. We have here some of the weekly spotlights on Solana. Some of the bigger news we can see here is finally we have the Chainlink price feed oracle that's live on Solana. Solana used to use Pyth for its primary oracle, so it's great to see Chainlink is in use now on the Solana blockchain. We can see also that OpenSea is now showing Solana NFTs from outside the OpenSea marketplace. Alchemy, based out of the US, has officially started supporting Solana. Alchemy helps enterprises build reliable dApps by providing the fundamental building blocks. According to Alchemy, they say that not only is Solana cheaper than Ethereum to use, but it's also faster, and that they're definitely bullish on Solana. The company, valued at $10.2 billion, will support developers who seek to build on the chain. The next development, and one of my favorites, is that Jupiter is now integrated into Phantom's native swap, allowing all their users to easily trade the tokens available on Solana seamlessly across the web, iOS and Android. Jupiter Aggregator, if you are not familiar, is a DEX aggregation tool on the Solana blockchain. I covered it in my last video, and it's pretty much the best place to perform all your swaps because it finds the cheapest place to swap between tokens and with minimal slippage, and can even break transactions up into smaller transactions in order to get even better swap prices. Next, we have Solana launching a $100 million investment and grant fund for South Korean Web3 startups. Solana is eyeing the gaming sector. They are looking to invest across all Web3 verticals, emphasizing South Korea's crypto game development. We also have some big news on Ori's first PvP alpha patch, and it will be completed by the end of the week. Ori is a Japanese role-playing game built on Solana and set in a retro-futuristic universe. Players get to choose between different game modes, such as solo game mode and 2 multiplayer modes. The solo game mode is a fully hand-drawn, side-scrolling game in 2D animation. Players follow the quest of Helios, a retro-futuristic cat-like protagonist, and have to fulfill quests, talk to NPCs, and defeat opponents to advance the plot. Defeated opponents will be earned as NFTs, which can then be later on used as part of the multiplayer mode. In those, players will be able to stake NFTs they earned by defeating monsters to win in-game skins, unique and legendary cards, and power-ups. These items can later be used against other players or traded on the native marketplace. The team also plans a player versus player mode, where gamers can challenge each other by choosing 5 of their items and cards to fight in a contest. The winner gets to collect all the tokens paid to begin the battle. A leaderboard will rank players based on their achievements and allow them to compete for giveaways. Part of this development, you can see now Solend, which is a money market or lending and borrowing protocol on the Solana blockchain, has now launched an isolated pool for Aurore's token. At the time of recording, the pool allows you to supply your Aurora tokens for around 6% APR and borrow at a rate of 1.33% for USDC, with an LTV of 50%. So here's a snapshot of the total transactions from top blockchain platforms. As you can see here, as of June 5th, we can see Solana has an insane number of transactions. We're looking at 75.87 billion. Compare it to Tron, BNB, or the Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, Harmony, Phantom, Avalanche, and working our way down the list, and even Ethereum, we can see that the Solana blockchain has many active users who are transacting on a regular basis. Also this week, we can see that the social dominance of Solana, according to Lunar Crush, is on the rise. So more and more people are talking about the chain and bullish on the fundamentals. So you can see the breakdown here of the top active users in the last 7 days and the different protocols that people are using. We can start off here by looking at some of these protocols. So the biggest one here on this bubble chart is Orca, which is a DEX that allows Solana DeFi users the ability to supply liquidity in order to facilitate trading various tokens on Solana blockchain and earn yield for supplying that liquidity for swaps on their decentralized exchange. Also, we have Gameta in this list here, which is a new kid on the block this week, and it is a top play to earn an NFT gaming platform built on the Solana blockchain. Also, we have Crema Finance creeping up here. Crema Finance is a powerful liquidity protocol built on Solana that provides superior performance for both traders and liquidity providers to supply liquidity as a service. They are a concentrated liquidity market maker, NFT liquidity farming protocol. OpenSea and Magic Eden are both NFT platforms for Solana. Magic Eden is the biggest NFT platform on the Solana blockchain. And as you can see, there are quite a few people using it. Saber is a stable swap pool and liquidity provider. They offer DeFi users the ability to supply stable assets and earn yield on those stable assets in the form of the Saber token. Radium is another decentralized exchange on the Solana blockchain, which was one of the original dexes and is still getting quite a few people using it. They have a number of other services, including IDO launchpads and even a central limit order book. Wormhole is just a bridge, but it is a bridge that supports many different tokens for Solana and other blockchains. And we also have Solend, which I mentioned before, which is a money market, lending and borrowing protocol where you can supply assets and borrow other assets against those. So if you wanted to hold on to your Sol or Bitcoin or Ethereum or a number of other assets, then you can just borrow stable coins against them. I covered the concepts of money markets in the last video, so feel free to check that out if you want to learn a little bit more about how they work. And finally on this list we have the MeanFi protocol. And MeanDAO is the organization behind Mean Protocol and MeanFi. They're a self-custody, permissionless, and trustless bank, bridging crypto and DeFi to everyday banking. They are aiming at using the Solana blockchain in order to facilitate some of the standard bank operations that, say, businesses would use in terms of, say, making payments to employees and other things along these lines. The weekly TVL performance of Solana's projects ranked by TVL. Here we can see Marinade Finance, which is the Marinade staked Sol, which is MSOL, which you can find on FTX. You can find across the Solana blockchain. It's basically a liquid staked version of Solana. So you stake your Sol on their platform and they give you the MSOL receipt token, and baked into the price of that token is the staking rewards. So the price creeps up little bit by little bit and is pegged to Solana as well. Also we can see here Orca, which mentioned before, Quarry, which is an aggregator platform that goes all the different liquidity mining platforms across the Solana blockchain and is a one-stop shop for managing all your different farms and pools on the Solana blockchain. Next we have Francium, which is a leveraged yield farming protocol, which also offers the ability to supply assets to those who wish to borrow in order to farm with leverage, and Tulip is the same protocol. So in order to get a better idea as to where we're at with regards to the active users and all these different transactions that we're seeing on the Solana blockchain, we can see here a chart of the number of active addresses on the Solana network, and this is clustered into monthly blocks. As we can see here, last month we had almost as many active addresses on the Solana network as we did back in April last year, when Solana was really starting to gain some traction, especially among VCs and early adopters. So we're on the up and up, which is very bullish for Solana's fundamentals and the blockchain. Also, we can see here, we're looking up and to the right for the number of new Solana addresses on the network. And this is also a 7-day moving average of those daily new addresses. And as we can see here, we have hundreds of thousands of people joining the Solana network. Regardless of all its issues and problems, people still see great potential and growth in this network. So next, we're going to talk about the short-term price action of Solana. As we can see here, history often rhymes, but it doesn't always repeat. I have here a chart of the RSI on the 4-hour chart. We can have a look and see here, I've got these arrows pointing the RSI and the current shape we're in. It's not looking the best if we are going to follow this kind of action, these kinds of actions, as we can see here in the past. We're right here right now, so there's a pretty good chance that we're going to head down to these levels here and possibly even further, but we will have to see how that plays out. As we can see at the time of this recording, we are basically testing this trend line here. We only had connections here and here, so this is not as strong anymore. The trend line did go up here before and it was broken right there. So it looks like we might be heading down probably to this ABC corrective pattern here. So the way I've actually measured that, and I've showed this in a previous video, but to get an Elliott wave corrective pattern, you measure the recent top to the first bottom to the impulse back up, and then it tries to plot where the price might go. So we're looking at a potential $34 Sol. If we were to break this symmetrical triangle formation, we would be looking at a 10% move to the upside, and to the downside, we're looking at probably around the same kind of move down there, 11, 12 maybe percent, depending on how fast we drop. So if you're bullish on Solana and you want to stack up some more, then these price levels could be a good opportunity to say DCA or add a little bit to your position, depending on how you want to play it. Now we're going to look at how we can trade Solana in the long term, or a small example on how swing trading could work quite well with Solana and building a portfolio. So here is the example portfolio. If you spotted Solana back in August and you wanted to trade this using a swing trading strategy, you would start your position with $5,000. And using this swing trading strategy, you would buy on these green dots here and sell on the red dots here. Anytime you see a green dot, you buy. Anytime you see a red dot, you sell. And these print on the candle close of every week. So we can see the example portfolio here, where you bought at $39 on the 8th of August, which is right here. You bought 128 Sol with your roughly $5,000 investment. You were able to sell that 128 at 136.27 to get your portfolio up to $17,442, which is pretty impressive right off the bat. Remember, we're looking at around $39 price at the moment, so this could very well happen again at some stage in the not too distant future. The sell took place on the 19th of September. As we can see here, right there, that was when the sell red dot was printed on the chart. Now, unfortunately, in this case, you did buy back at a higher price. So you received 86.36 on that buyback, which is right here. So you now have fewer tokens, unfortunately, but let's just see how this keeps playing out. At that 202 price point with your 86, once you saw the next red dot, which was right here, you now have pushed your portfolio up to around $20,000 and have 86 tokens, which again is less than what you started with, but let's just keep going for all intents and purposes and see how this plays out. The next buy point wasn't until 84.86, where you were able to use that roughly $20,000 to buy 235 Sol. So automatically now you have much more Sol than when you started. Here you can see the buy dot printed on the chart right here, and then there is a couple of dots afterwards, which unfortunately move your position around into a worse place. However, as you will see shortly, you've been protected from a massive price move down that will come shortly after this. So here is that sell that came shortly after, where you sold at 86 under the price where you bought back. So this brings your portfolio down to $18,000 to around 18,500. And the next buy is above where you sold. So again, it's bringing your token amount down and your portfolio down a little bit. However, as you can see here, we were able to sell at 99.20, these 208 tokens, to build the portfolio back up to above where it was just here. And you can see April 25th is right here, and there's the sell point here at $99. Now, these two next price points here are hypothetical. They are, say, if we dip down and then the oscillator here converges and prints a green dot at around $45, which is quite a bit above where we are right now. So there's a pretty good chance it will be lower than that, but let's just say for hypothetical reasons that this plays out. With the current amount that you have, which is 20,633, it's pretty impressive coming from 5,000 all the way up and then all the way back down again. You can now buy 458 Sol. And if you were just to sit on and wait until the all-time high, which was around $260, then we're looking at a portfolio growth that's pretty significant. We're looking at roughly a 24x from our buy-in price at 39. I haven't necessarily compared this strategy to a DCA strategy, but this is basically taking all your capital and then swing trading it over the course of the market's price move. However, this was during a bull market, so we probably won't see anything again like this for some time, but this just shows you what's possible going from the price where we are right now and swing trading up to where the all-time high is. Let's just say, for example, Solana does a 2x from its all-time high. This is what the portfolio would look like. So if the buyback was here, then you'd be looking at the price, say, of $500, which is possible to achieve, at least in the next bull run. Then this would be roughly what the portfolio would contain just with Solana and Solana alone. As you can see, if we implement a very simple swing trading strategy, just for Solana alone, we can build a very impressive portfolio. We're currently sitting around prices where this particular portfolio started. However, it was during the bull market, so this needs to also be factored in. This kind of time frame we're not going to be seeing again, but as you can see based on the charts, we could be heading down further, which means the buyback in price could be even lower from when it was in August of 2021. Make sure you stick around and follow my channel for more information on this Market Cipher indicator that I used in order to set up this trading portfolio. This is a paid for indicator. However, there is a free version out there that we can use in order to use this indicator for swings. And if you want to take even fewer trades, you can use the Heikin-Ashi chart, which smooths out the oscillator and reduces the number of trades that were taken. As we can see using the Heikin-Ashi chart, if you were to take these buy and sell signals here and here, for example, and this one here, and the sell signal here, and just buying back here and selling there, and then just waiting for this buyback signal here for these oscillator lines to cross, there are even fewer trades, which could have even got you into a better position. So the Heikin-Ashi is another one that you can use with this particular trading strategy in order to build possibly an even better position. If you want me to build a example portfolio on this particular trading strategy, then let me know in the comments and I'll happily put it together and throw it in a future video. So there we have it, Solana fundamentals and technicals, and a quick little swing trading strategy that we can use that started based on when the price was roughly where we are right now and what we could be looking at if we were to build something like that now. However, remember, being in a bear market, we do have to stretch our time horizon out significantly more. And we might be waiting until 2024, which is the next Bitcoin halving, until we see some decent price moves again in altcoins. With any investment in something that you have high conviction in, patience is key, and the patient are rewarded. Institutional adoption and high level activity on the network is showing that Solana has a great deal of potential. Its adoption has outpaced its current development, so we've seen quite a bit of network congestion and even a couple of outages. But I have confidence that they'll move past this and the chain will become bigger and stronger with time. It's definitely one to watch. So I hope you liked the video. And if you want an example portfolio on the Heikin-Ashi swing trading strategy, let me know in the comments. And stay tuned for more Market Cipher trading strategies, because you can use the same kind of signals on a free version of the indicator, which I'll happily share with anyone who requests it. This is Kryptolytix signing out. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.